Again, I'm Rob Barrington here with Gavin Wolpert. We've gone through 1 through 10, and we started off with board 11. This was our suggested auction, Gavin, but we didn't realize how maybe aggressive our panel was with this one. We actually set them up with the West hand on this hand. We started with a club past a diamond. We were curious as to whether they would overcall with this hand. We didn't, but I think you'll see that they might have had some different ideas. Do you want to add anything before we see this,
No, we
buddy?
hear it. It's a great discussion. It might be a little bit of this kids don't try this at home kind of moment where
Yeah,
the experts are overcalling this hand and it might get you into a little bit more trouble. But again, focus on the vulnerability. It's white, white.
and it's a
This is a
great
theme for
discussion.
the day.
Yep, here it is, folks. Then we were wondering how degenerate everybody could be on this particular spot when it goes a club past a diamond to you. I can't remember. Did we overcall on this hand on the
I
sheet,
don't think we
Gavin? I
did.
can't
I don't think
remember.
we did. I think we
You
said that
equal
it's
weight
a
at match points. I always say you should never bid. You don't want to get in there and try and play the hand.
Yeah, and that's why everyone but Brad decided to do this. Brad,
Brad,
is this an age thing? Is this from the older generation? You're now the moderate player who will pass this hand, and
Well, Joe keeps yelling at me that I'm too aggressive when I'm overcalling, so I've decided to put the brakes on.
I wouldn't overcall it imps, maybe.
Well, my thinking is that I have the queen nine third of hearts. My spades are so bad. Sure, I want to compete equal white at match points, but the auction, you know, it's just if it's most like when partner passed the club, it's most likely we're going to be defending on this hand, and I might want partner to lead a spade, but I don't really know, and I don't really want to help them so much on the hands. So, I have no problem with bidding a spade, and if you gave me the 10 of spades, I would say it's automatic.
sure, sure. And we discussed this as kind of like we weren't sure what the modern method, the modern expert player was going to be thinking here at these colors in this spot, but
well,
kind of happy to see that's pretty aggressive here.
we're always preaching that in order to overcall at the one level, you need one of three things. You either need a good suit, or you need a good hand, or you need good distribution. And it's hard to say that this hand qualifies for any of those three things.
Oh,
But
no,
I
but
had a feeling that you guys would overcall anyway. But that's why, yeah. Sorry, what'd you say, Grant?
I just think the idea that it is equal weight at match points and your past hands, so you've already limited your hand. Now, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if they end up declaring, they know you got like 8 to 10 points and 5 spades,
Yeah,
so
that's what Brad
might
is
be
saying with his pass. It's kind of like
better.
Yeah, partner could easily just have clubs in a decent hand. I mean, if they have a good hand, they'll bid. But if they just have like an opening hand with 4 clubs, that's like totally in their range. And like we just kind of want to play the hand in 1 no or 2 spades or something.
And if
well,
they're about to play the hand in no trump, then I don't need partner to lead a spade, but I really, really like them to. I hope I'm not. It could be just like terrible with partner like throwing the jack of spades out there, without the 10 and sort of having that. But obviously, if partner's like 4-4 in the majors, I want him to guess right.
yeah.
If
And
partner's 4-4 in the majors, there's a decent chance they might have a takeout double of 1-no. I mean, it's not
No, but
impossible.
that and even more so if partner is 4-4 in the majors that
Double one club.
they
They
didn't
would've
double
doubled one
club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they probably would have double one club.
Yeah.
They're about to jump to 3-no, 2-no, 3-no,
Yes,
or maybe
exactly.
just all pass with this south hand having some values.
I think if they're bidding 2 no every time, you probably would rather pass. If they have a 1 no rebid, you definitely want to bid because you want to play the hand instead of them. That's really.
I mean, if they're bidding 2-no, I still most of the time want a spade lead at imps.
Yeah.
At points, it's not so because I might not be.
It's a good point, Grant.
All right. So we'll have a nice line to draw later when we have a two-level overcall that is a lot different of a situation with much better hands. So we'll look into that in a few moments. But let's keep going. What a good discussion there for that board. And we are back for board number 12, Gavin. And this one seems pretty straightforward for us. The question is, will North bid 3 spades or will they go more deliberately here? We both kind of thought this was a good preemptive bid here, especially with King Queen tied of diamonds.
It's just so difficult to deal with preempts. It's so hard when you're the East hand. If this hand East didn't have a problem, but
Sure.
sometimes East is going to have 10, 11 points and just no stopper, or even with the spade stopper, they're going to have to bite the bullet and make an absolute decision over three spades. This is being a tough opponent. Now,
Very
if
good.
you looked at this North End and said, I count my losers, I'm going to lose two clubs and I'm going to lose two hearts is 4 and a diamond is 5 and the ace of spades is 6 and maybe another spade. I can see you talking yourself down and being, well, maybe two spades is better. But I would just rule out two spades. I would either be
For sure.
overcalling this hand three spades and just biting the bullet and going with it and hoping I don't go three down vulnerable, or bid one spade and actually make an effort to get to game, because two spades, we're too strong for two spades in every that seventh
Yeah.
spade is just partners never we're gonna miss games,
And we're at
sometimes.
the very top end of our range as well. So we might as well, give it the full pull if we're going to go the preemptive route. Um, and that's where this auction should end. Nobody should be stepping back into this, even though
You could
West hates passing.
Yeah, you can easily see West falling in love with their hand, but you
Yeah,
have to understand that you're committing all by yourself to the 4 level. It just easily can be wrong. On this hand, you might have actually survived because in four
partner
hearts,
has
because
a
you're only
heck of
going
a
to lose.
diamonds holding
Yeah, you buy a heart fit, you buy that ace 10 of diamonds,
and entries because king
and
queen
just
tight.
the king queen of diamonds is on the board, so you
Yeah,
on side rather.
I
You're
guess you have a heart
really
entry
in
also.
four hearts. You're going to go down only one. You're going to lose a spade. You're going to lose the ace of hearts. You're going to lose the king of diamonds, and you're close to making it. If the defense really, if they don't get both of their blacks winners set up, you might actually even make four hearts. But north south, if they're in three spades, it's a pretty easy make for them too. They're going to lose the ace of spades, a heart, a diamond, and a club. So three spades is going to
Easy
make
playing.
easily. So
Yep.
West, if you did bid four hearts, it's going to be a winner no matter
Good
what,
sack.
because you're going to go minus 50 into the 140, or even if they double you, it's going to go 100. You're going to go 100 into 140. So
Yeah. Or if they
it's hard to know.
misdefend, you might even make that thing. I mean, if they don't get their tricks. Yeah, okay. Let's dance. Okay. So we gave boards 13 and 14 to our panel. And we have number 13 for us. And won't give you too much of this. So number 13, it was what do we do after a spade, a no trump, two clubs. And this was interesting. I thought more would bid two spades,
Well,
but
you said one of those non-forcing though, right?
correct.
did
We
in the
said
poll when we
one
polled
no
you
is
guys.
semi-forcing. Yep.
Promises 4. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
bet two spades at imps.
Interesting at imps.
Well, because we could still have game.
It's so we suggested two spades as the bid over two clubs. First of all, for anybody that's playing forcing no trump, two spades is automatic, because your
Yep.
partner will often have three clubs, and so if you're going to play a 7-card fit, you'd much rather play in spades for sure. So it's only when one no trump is not forcing and two clubs promises 4 that there becomes this issue of should we bid again anyway. And what you just said, Joe, about needing to keep the auction, hoping to keep the auction alive for when you have game. Two clubs, when East doesn't jump shift to three clubs, all they've done is limit their hand to 18. They could still have up to 18 points. So when we have eight counts like this, you really want to keep the bidding alive. And at imps, they're just for the audience, the big difference between imps and match points is at imps there's a huge premium on bidding games. You need to get to game if you can make a game. So Joe's saying he wouldn't consider passing two clubs at imps because he knows that he needs to keep the auction alive for a potential game. But at match points, he's just thinking about where's my best plus score, and you see, you're thinking two clubs is going to produce
I
better.
think it's on the bottom end of stretching to bid two spades. I would bid two spades showing values, but I mean, but like when you pass two clubs, the auction's over, and when you bid two spades, you still might be an okay part score when partner has a bad hand. But if they have like a 16 count, you could have a vulnerable game.
And Johnny Hurd's distinction here was if he had a way to show spades an 8 to 11ish or 8 to something, he would, and if not, he would pass. So apparently he has that in their
Which one
system
would
at
he
some
show,
point.
by the way?
I don't know. He said he if he had a
I
way
mean,
to show 8 or
I
something.
think he's saying he would show 8 to 11.
Yeah, he would show 8 to 11 with
But I think that's the whole. I think that's the point of the hand, is that when partner has a good hand, right? Their good hand doesn't have to be 18. Their good hand could be 16. So when partner has a good hand, and you get to 3 no trump, it's likely to be below 50%. So at match points, it's not all that appealing to to do that. But vulnerable at imps, the game only needs to be 30% for it to be a desirable contract, which is what you were saying earlier. So it's really about the vulnerability and this form of scoring, because even catering to partner having the good hand, it's still going to be below 50% most of the time.
But you don't think that two spades on average is going to score as good as well as two clubs? Will do you think that you're going to make 110 in your 130 in clubs when you're making only 110 in spades, or do you like? Because when my experience with these hands is that we survive in two spades better than playing in two clubs anyway, especially.
But partner hasn't passed two spades yet.
Right, if partner might bid again, but if
The 140s, you're actually going minus 100 or something like that. Although, Brad, you make 3-0 like 80% of the time in this spot. I don't know,
You're confusing me with your partner, Vin Diesel.
I think having two little spades is different than if you had like queen of one spade and king third of hearts. Like
Yes.
it's much more appealing at match points to try and get to two spades.
All right.
I pass.
All right. One club to you. Pass a club to you on board 14, gentlemen. You're sitting west, and this is your choice, and we can show you everybody doubled except Johnny Krat. Johnny passed.
Certainly, you get in early, get out. It's probably the right bid.
All right, this is just you don't need the perfect shape every time to double. Essentially, is what we're kind of looking at on this one, folks. Not too much of a choice from the partner of the person that just made the double, unless you're Cran, you passed. But if it goes one club, double, two clubs, what are you doing with this one? And I think all of you also did the same thing, I believe. Yeah, almost all. We bid two hearts, and I think all of you were going to bid two hearts and then bid diamonds later if you needed to over three clubs. And Brad, you doubled. Any thoughts on that here? You just wanted to get Joe to play it, basically?
Well, that's always my approach in the bidding. But I mean, obviously two hearts is a reasonable bid, very reasonable. But if hypothetically partner had four spades and three hearts, right? I think I would rather play the hand in two spades than two hearts. Sometimes partner bids diamonds. I just didn't think there was a whole lot of downside. If I'm not selling out to three clubs. It could go three clubs pass, and double again.
That's what I'm worried about. If I double and they bid three clubs, that was actually what I thought at the time. If I double and they bid three clubs, now it goes pass, I bid three diamonds, and it's like partner doesn't know, partner can't bid three hearts now.
Well, I didn't bid two diamonds or three diamonds the first time.
Unless they're 4-4 in the majors, yeah. Unless they're 4-4 in the majors, yeah.
Right, but I agree. That's the downside to doubling. I totally agree.
I mean, I do think that with us holding only one club, especially I know partner can't have, say, king fourth, king third, ace third, king jack third. But it's
By the way,
for those of you playing at home, that's exactly what partner has, as Fran remembers.
Partner would just be like, I pass. No, that hand,
but I think when you hold one club, you do think it's going to go like three clubs. So it makes it, at least if you're fighting for a part score, sort of, and it at the 3 level seems like, but maybe you're too good. Maybe
the other thing for people to realize is if you bid two hearts and it goes three clubs pass, and you bid three diamonds, that when you're 3-3, you always pass.
It's such an important point. And so
thank you. Yeah,
learn from it. Like they're going to learn more from that. That when I bid two hearts and then three diamonds, I don't have five hearts. I never have five hearts. I'll just bid hearts twice.
The idea is, yeah, exactly. If East has five hearts, they're going to insist on hearts. They're not going to bring diamonds into the picture. They know about their major suit fit, so they're not even going to suggest diamonds.
Yep, you would see two hearts and then three hearts in that mode, but they have five. When they see two hearts and three diamonds, we're happy to pass.
More often than not 4-5, but they could be 4-4.
Great stuff. Let's jump on to 15. All right, here's our suggested auction for number 15, and we have an interesting hand as the South player after one spade past two spades, and I think that's probably the auction that occurred at pretty much every table, unless we had some super frisky West players over there trying to find a Michael's Cube bid with that garbage.
Oh, that's an ugly one. Even if you're
you learned your lesson if you did.
Well, even if you're still on an old-fashioned idea of mini Maxi Michaels, which just take this moment in time to try to spread the word in the bridge world that mini Maxi is not a thing anymore. We don't do Michaels with these
It's gone
super
bye-bye.
mini hands. Yeah, Michaels are now, you have
It's a
at least
constructive hand, at
a strong
least.
enough hand to go to the level that you're forcing to. So
Good,
a spade, two spades, Michaels is a 3-level overcall. So you really
Yeah.
need to have two really good suits before you start Michaelsing to the 3-level. It might be a little more aggressive with a 1 club, 2 clubs, Michaels, because their partner can
Now
support
you can
both of
buy
your
at the two
suits at the
level.
2-level,
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, this is just more on the theme, the south hand of when you have 10 cards in 2 suits and you have a fit in one of those 2 suits,
That's a
your
good hand.
playing strength is just so much more than you think it is. So here, even though you only have 13 points and your partner's limited their hand to up to a bad 10 point hand, a 10-point hand that wasn't worth the limit raise, you still, with 23 points as your maximum, you still can easily visualize a game. If all we
Yep.
need is partner to have some points in hearts and spades and clubs and not points in diamonds. Points in diamonds are obviously the worst points because we won't be
Yeah,
able to use them.
for sure.
Uh,
But I mean,
so
let's be honest. No matter what South does, even if they make a twitch, North is going to bid a game because they're at the absolute like maximum end of their end. So here, if you didn't do anything more constructive with North, it's going to be an easy sell. Unfortunately, you're not going to make this because of the hard
no.
situation. It's just brutal. But we don't play bridge, or sorry, we don't play results, Gavin. We play bridge, right? So the results should not matter. It's the fact that we got to the right spot.
Yeah, we bought like a bad heartbreak
And we bought
and
King Jack fourth of
King
diamonds
Jack
over
of
that.
diamonds. Like that is as
Yeah.
bad as it gets. Even the Ace of diamonds we could use to throw away a club from our hand.
Yeah.
And we might, it's possible that West led a diamond, in
Sure,
which
and we
case
get that
we could
shake
we
anyway.
could play the Jack from the dummy and
Yeah.
it'll force the ace. And it's very important you play the Jack from dummy and not the King, because people don't
They're
underlead
not going to lead
aces
away from the ace.
against suit contracts. So if it even then, so the King of diamonds had some value, but it would be much easier to make this hand if that King Jack of diamonds were anywhere else. The
Yeah.
Queen of hearts, let's say, or the
Yeah,
Jack of
okay.
hearts rather.
Yeah.
Jack of hearts or the Ace of hearts would have
Sold.
been, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at 16. So, I mean, this auction could have gone a lot of different ways as well, Gavin. This was what we kind of stuck on for a few reasons. West opening with 2 diamonds with honestly a really nice 7-card suit is a vulnerability base for us. We have red, white. We're kind of just being a little bit more disciplined with this, but you could have sympathy for 3 diamond bidders too.
Well, it's funny because we just saw that problem earlier with King Queen 7th of spades and King Queen Doubleton of diamonds, where we said it was either 1-level overcall or a 3 bid, but we wouldn't have preempted 2, and because we felt like it was too strong. This one is not too strong for a 2 diamond bid. We do have an extra diamond, but we don't have a maximum in high cards. So partners, it's not going to misrepresent our hand. We would love to have a better suit, having 2 of the top 3 or 3 of the top 5, but having Queen 10, 9, 8 is still pretty good. It's still like, even if we bought a void in partner's hand in diamonds, we're only going to lose the Ace King Jack because of our such solid spots.
And we don't want to give up an opportunity to preempt either. It just feels completely wrong with this sort of hand, especially early in the auction.
It doesn't feel right to pass. So that's why but it also doesn't feel like it's a 3 diamond bid because of the suit quality and the vulnerability. I would be perfectly comfortable opening this hand 3 diamonds if the vulnerability was
both of us
different.
Yeah, sure.
If non-vol against vol or even equal
red,
white as the theme.
White? Okay.
Red is where when you're red, you might just go 2 down vulnerable. And that's the scary thing.
Yeah, exactly. The only time it's relevant is when they rate to have a game. And unfortunately, it looks like West preempts partner more than anyone on this hand, right? With their 2 diamond bid. So luckily it was only 2, but it's a disciplined pass by East, and they're hoping for something dreamy on this hand, aren't they?
Well, it's just so important that when you have a singleton in your partner's suit and they preempt, no matter how good you think your hand is, it's not nearly as good. Yeah, because you'll never be able to set up partner suit and return to their hand. And so so when you have like 17, 16, 17 points and your partner makes a weak 2 bid and you have a singleton, it's like almost always right to pass and leave them there. That when you start looking for a better place, you're not going to improve the contract. What's going to happen is you're going to bid your suit and then partner's going to bid 3 diamonds and you're going to be in just a level higher and you're not going to know. And you know for sure with his E-Send, you're not making 3 no trump. Because if partner's got a good enough diamond suit to run the diamond diamond suit, like let's say they have ace, queen, jack, 10, 6 of diamonds, which
have
they really need to
nothing
have
else.
that perfect diamond suit in order for us to overtake our king in partner's hand. Because remember, if we cash our king, and this is one of the big problems with having a singleton in partner's suit, is after we've cashed our king, we have
See
to
ya.
get over to partner's hand and
Yep.
then enjoy their diamond. So the only
King
diamond,
Doubleton, amazing.
huge
It's
difference,
just-
huge difference, yeah,
yeah.
between having a doubleton versus having a singleton in partner suit. So just keep that, and if that's your big takeaway from all 30 of these hands, is that when you have a singleton and your partner opens a weak bid, just your
Yep.
hand is significantly less powerful
Especially in
than
a no
usually is.
trump contract. And
But
let's look at the dream though for East. East loves seeing South act, right? That's what they hope for. They hope that they can find their way into one of their best suits, or maybe they get a chance to talk again, and that's what's happening. Sorry, you were going to drop something in there, buddy?
Well, I wanted to just talk about South has a completely normal
Yeah,
reopening
perfect.
double,
Yep.
and they right you don't have that great of a hand, right? You only have 12 points, and one of them's wasted, and the Jack of Diamonds completely useless. But
Yep.
it's
But you have
still you're
shortness
in
and diamonds.
yeah, you're in the balancing seat and you have shortness in diamonds. That's the key point. Like it's always partner, whoever has shortness in the opponent's suits has pressure to get into the bidding, because when you have a doubleton diamond like this in South, sometimes your partner's going to have 13 or even 14 points, but they have too many diamonds to bid. So there's pressure on the person with the shortness in their suit to act. So it's absolutely 100% to reopen double with the South hand. And you might even reopen double with even a slightly worse hand,
Sure,
because
because
you're
it's
in the
so important to
balancing
act.
chair,
Yeah.
and you're
you're
not
white too,
vulnerable.
so
Yeah.
yeah, we're
So
stepping on each other.
yeah, so you double and it goes past, and North has a normal 2 spade bid.
Sure.
That's their pick of the
And East
suits.
gets a shot at the auction, right? East
Yeah,
gets a little.
we felt like East should not sell out. You know your opponents have a spade fit because you only
Yeah.
have 2 of them, and your partner probably doesn't have 4. So
And the
they
King of
have an
Diamonds
8-card
isn't the
fit.
worst card in a 3 diamond contract. You don't hate when it actually happens, when partner does correctly bid 3 diamonds with their extra diamond and their unknown extra diamond. So this is our suggested auction. We would also suggest that it's unlikely to have gone this way at many of the tables, right?
Yeah,
But
if you pass with the West hand, or if you
yeah,
open 3 diamonds, it's all good. If it went 3 diamonds, pass, I think South still has to double.
probably, right? It's
Yep,
close. It's
I think
closer
they
there,
do.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so and
Interesting.
now it's at the 3 level, but yeah, so you definitely you're a tougher opponent when you open those preamps, those 3 level
For sure.
preamps. Like, so if you are one of the people out there who are just like ready to go, I'm opening 3 diamonds, you're annoying to play against.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't
just
like
gonna
to
tell
play
you.
against.
Yeah,
Go to the next table.
yeah.
All right, let's take a look at 17. Once again, Gavin, 17 presents us the same situation we saw with 4 diamonds, 5 clubs, and not enough points to be reversing or doing it any other way with the north hand. So we chose to open a diamond. And once again,
Yes.
shortness and hearts kind of dictates we're likely to see a heart, and that's exactly what we see. And then we're able to bid clubs, and South has an interesting choice.
We don't want the audience to think these guys just don't understand what's going on. Why are they opening their
It's the
shorter?
longest suit, dummies. So you open your
Yeah.
longest suit.
But it just happened to happen a few times in this set that it was a recurring theme where we just had to plan our rebid. It just shows you how much we hate opening one of a minor and rebidding that minor, 1 club, 1 heart, 2 clubs with only a 5-card suit. We dislike that so much. And just to touch on it for a second, why? When you rebid 2 clubs, your partner's expecting 6 of them.
Yep.
And when you're facing a 6-card club suit, your prospect of making 3 no trump is much better, because you're going to have a source of tricks of a 6-card club suit. So partner's going to push for game opposite that.
And partner looking at king small of that suit, like we were talking about the last hand, where they know, I mean, that looks a lot juicier, and it's not as juicy as they think.
Yeah, when they're only
5
facing
cards.
a 5-card suit, there's just not that source of trick. So we really try not to rebid 2 of our minor with only 5. It's just a good
And
rule of thumb.
this is not ideal. It's preparing for a likely bad situation, right? It's preparing for a bad rebid, and that's exactly what we get. It would be interesting if it went a diamond, a spade. Would you raise the 2 spades with the north hand there?
Yeah, I would. I'm willing to raise on 3-card support.
You always would if you opened a club. Like that would be like a no-brainer. But if you open a diamond, would you choose to go? That's the one question I had here.
Yeah, I definitely like it. I like raising with 3 card support. I actually don't love it with the ace, king, jack of spades, and the because you are taking roughs in your hand when the
Yeah.
opponents bid. Yeah, when the opponents lead hearts and multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. And then the auction's just going to end there, right? The South actually has a nice invitational hand, even though it's an ugly invitational hand. It's 11. They don't want to just sell out because two clubs could be up to about 17 points, so they have to do something here. And North just decides to end that right at that level there. That seems about right. Maybe people play no trump on this hand, possibly, Gavin. What do you think?
Well, South couldn't really bid to no trump because they don't have spades stopped.
Yeah,
Or right, usually
Queen
when you
X.
bid 3 suits, you really want to bid. You want to have a stopper in the 4th suit before you bid 3 no trump. So South's hands were kind of tied. They really had only one way to constructively invite, and North has the stoppers in the 4th suit, so that part was great. But they do only have 13 points, and they know their partner's got 11. It's close with the North hand, whether you're supposed to bid 3 no trump or pass 3 clubs.
Yeah,
If you
very
bid
close.
3 no trump thinking, hey, I've got 3 stoppers in the last suit, it's reasonable. And
Yeah,
actually, it wouldn't have worked out terribly for you. On you have like if they do lead a spade,
if they
it
find
wouldn't.
their hearts, it's probably bad at some point, but they're probably not going to find that right away, right?
They're probably starting with a spade lead if
Yeah,
North bids 3 no trump, and then you can take that losing club finesse, and you're already up to 4 clubs, three
three spades
spades,
and a diamond.
and the ace of diamonds. So really, the opponents can beat you.
It's
Uh,
hard.
basically they'll have to find a heart shift at some point. So there's a 9th trick available for North South in diamonds by
But they
double
have to
finessing.
let East in
And if
first.
When East gets in with that king of diamonds, if they can find that jack of heart shift then the defense can come away with the king of clubs, the king of diamonds, and the jack 10 of hearts for 1 trick and the ace king of hearts for 5. So
Yeah.
tough beat if you did bid 3-0. And again, aggressive
Well,
bidding makes the opponents have to defend well. So
exactly.
it can work in your favor to be aggressive.
All right, let's take a look at number 18 next. 3 to go in this set. So board 18 gives us a rule of 15 for the North player to start this hand, Gavin. It goes 3 passes, most likely. Although West in third chair might choose to open in some seats, right, Gavin? They might open a club.
Yeah,
Which I'm
it's
fine with.
okay to open, but you really have garbage over here.
No,
If you
no,
get
no,
passed,
queen
if you
jack
get
tight.
passed out with the West hand, I would feel pretty comfortable that that's okay. So that's why we chose pass on the suggested auction. I will say that, as I mentioned earlier, for me, when I open light in third chair, I really like to have a good suit in the suit I'm opening, so that at least my
Or I want
partner
to be
knows
opening a major. Just give me some preemptive
taking up
value
some
at least.
space.
Yeah,
Exactly. A club does nothing to the opponents. It's just going to tell them, hey, I've got some points. But unless you have good clubs, if I had like ace, king, jack, 4th of clubs, and I know I want my partner to lead a club, I'm always willing to open light in third chair. This hand, I don't really
you
have
might want
any
a
reason
diamond
to
lead.
point my partner to clubs. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that's why we decided to pass, and North
And
just
it's a
had it.
good point. You're not upset if it gets passed out in the situations with this sort of hand. So yeah, and North has just, North has an opening hand in almost any seat, but you can double check with very short spades. You might pass in these situations because you're trying to just go +0 if you don't have spades. But here,
I'm
it's pretty
usually
normal.
looking for any excuse to open, and this hand's an automatic opening bid. But like you said, the rule of 15, which is adding your spades to your points. So here we have how many points? We have
13
13
high
and
cards
3.
and
We're
3 spades.
well.
So
That's
yeah,
16. So that's all you need to do is to add up to 15, and it's worth an opening bid. But sometimes I'll even open if I don't qualify for the rule of 15. As long I just need one of my rules, any of
yeah.
my rules. Yeah, rule of 20, rule of
And if you can invent
15.
one on the spot that makes sense,
Yeah,
it's good. It's
I
good.
like to open the bidding. I don't like
Me too.
passing out hands. We paid
Well,
an entry.
especially in robot tournaments, I refuse. I will not do it.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
that's pretty normal. But it actually opens up a nice auction because honestly, East has the perfect shape for a double. It's close with their values, but the shape got us over the edge here because we're a past hand as
Yeah,
well.
the
So
beautiful thing is we're a past hand. So
yeah,
partner's not going to just jump to game, right? Partner didn't
exactly.
open in
Yeah.
third chair. So
We
this
know
is
we're
just
both past hands, in fact. So the worst
right.
case is, we're some sort of invitational hand. So
The thing is that we want to compete, right?
yeah,
Especially like they've made the mistake of opening in fourth chair. We can see that there's a really good chance we have a fit
yeah.
in some suit, and we're going to be able to outcompete their club suit. So I love double with this hand, even if sometimes my opponents are going to be redouble and they're going to double us for
Sure.
penalty.
Yeah,
It could
whatever.
work out badly, but match points is a
We're
bitters game,
also white,
especially when you're
right? Again, we're
non-vol.
non-vulnerable.
Exactly.
The risk level is so much lower, and then it just goes a normal heart bid. West clearly wants to get in this auction with a spade, and they
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to do so aggressively. They don't have to jump around. They know they're not making a game either because East is a passed hand, so it's just a competitive auction here.
I will say if West bid 2 spades just to eat up room, it's not terrible. You have 11
Yeah,
points,
sure.
so it's like if
Yeah,
you jumped
totally.
to 2 spades, honestly, that would have probably or that could easily have bought you the
South
hand in
has a
2
way
spades.
tougher choice when it jumps back to them at that point because here can you explain the two club bid?
Sure.
This is a
So
fun one.
this is interesting. This is only really valid for people who play support doubles. So
Yep.
if you play support doubles, this is the situation that it would occur when the opening bidder north, it goes open to club and their partner bids the suit at the 1 level, which could be as few as 4 cards. When South bid 1 heart, it was 4 or more hearts.
Yep.
And the third hand or fourth hand intervenes when West bids a spade. North, a double by North would promise 3 card support.
Yep.
So
now
when North passes 1 spade, they deny 3 card heart support. So when it comes pass back to South, South has a run of the mill 8 count. They now know that they don't have a heart fit. But if they stop and really take stock of what partner's distribution is, if the opponents have what sounds like an 8 card spade fit and partner only, that means partner has at most 3 spades.
Yep. We know they
And
have at most 2 hearts.
partner didn't support double, so that they have at most 2 hearts. So that's 5 cards. That means that they have 8 cards in the minors. And when we are 4-4 in the minors, at least in North America, we're taught, regardless of our
100% of the time.
suit quality, we're always opening a diamond with 4-4 in the minors. So the fact that partner has 8 cards in the minors, and we know that they must be, and they've
At least
opened a
8,
club. They have at least 8 in the minors. We know that they have 3 diamonds and 5 clubs at least. So we know they actually have a 5 card club suit. So this is a rare, unique
Beautiful deduction.
opportunity
Yeah.
where South could realize, hey, I know I only have 3 clubs and my partner's only opened a club, which normally only has 3, but they could work it all out that hey, partner actually must have 5 clubs
And
over
this
there.
is a law of total tricks, and I guess that means we owe Larry Cohen about $3 for mentioning that there also.
Yeah.
So that checks in
And
the mail, buddy.
he definitely would be absolute about not letting our opponents play a contract
Exactly.
at a level that they have enough trumps for. So
Well,
he wouldn't
and
even be
now
comfortable defending 2.
and East does the same thing, by the way. East on this end says, okay, I know we have a spade fit, partner has shown that. And West doesn't necessarily know, right? East could still have 3 spades, 4 hearts, something like that. So East confirms that fit. But now North deduces that South was using the law of total tricks possibly and competes to the 3 level. We weren't sure if that was going to happen here, but we popped it in there as
Yeah, it's just so
likely
important
action.
we're not letting the opponents play in an 8 card fit at the 2 level when
Yeah.
we have a viable suit to compete to. On this hand, East West was going to make spades easily for 110. I think they were well, maybe not easily. You got
Well,
2
it was
diamonds.
2 hearts, a club, and a couple diamonds.
Yeah,
Probably.
2 hearts, 2 diamonds, and a club.
Mhm.
You might be able to squeeze them down in 2 spades by making the ace king jack 9 of spades rough a couple times to promote that queen of hearts. So it's possible that you could, or even in fact, North might on a perfect day defending spades be able to go king of hearts, 10 of hearts over to the ace, and get a heart over rough. But interestingly, you could throw a diamond on that trick because the 9-8 of hearts would be good. So it's going to be an interesting hand in 2 spades.
Yeah.
But North South in 3 clubs, actually, it's going to be an easy make for them because
for sure.
with
Even
everything
with the bad
sitting
break.
well, you're going to lose 2 spades. But the ace queen of diamonds are on sides. You're only going to lose 1 diamond,
And
and
the
you
spots
know
and clubs
where
are pretty amazing.
you know where the queen of clubs is because of the takeout double. It really tells you how to play the hand. You know who to finesse for the queen of clubs.
Yeah.
So you should be able to make 3 clubs. If you weren't making 3 clubs, they were certainly making 2 spades.
For sure. All right, very cool stuff on board 18. Let's go with 19 and 20 next. Let's check it out. All right, board 19, another super competitive auction, actually. North-South gets to find their spade fit, and that is not to East's happy face there. They have a really nice hand that they want to play, but they can't do much more than they did in this one. Hey, bud?
Yeah, you again, it's another one where I can imagine people might fall in love with their hand just because of how great the heart suit is. This heart suit plays well, even if partner has none of them. You're still going to have no problem drawing trumps. So East has a solid 7-trick hand in hearts.
The vulnerability
But
is scary.
yeah, it's the vulnerability that really talked us out of bidding a third time. You overcall 1 heart for sure. That was a clear-cut overcall. And the South's negative double shows exactly 4 spades, never more, because we could bid 1 spade promising 5. And West had nothing, so they passed, and North had a minimum with 4 spades. This is actually an interesting spot where jumping to 2 spades wouldn't really show that much better of a hand than 1 spade. 1 spade really shows a weakish hand with 4 card support.
Yeah, 2 would be like I have a full opener, not enough for 3 essentially. But
and North is close. If you jump to 2 spades with this hand, it's okay. You do have the Jack 10, 9 of spades are nice cards. Everything about the hand's decent. So if you bid 2
diamonds
spades,
don't rate to be terrible either. So.
And if you did bid 2 spades with the North hand, now East is going to feel like I haven't done my hand justice, and they would have bid 3 hearts. So there was a competitive advantage to North bidding 2 spades. You would have induced a 3 heart bid from East, and 3 hearts is just going to be East is going to lose all the tricks that they think they're going to lose. Yeah. They have a club loser, 3 diamond losers, and the Ace King of Hearts. So they will go 2 down vulnerable.
Ooh, they can get. Oh no, so they have all 3 diamond losers. I was going to say they might get a rub, but no, they're taking all 3 losers instead. Oops.
Right. So if North bid 2 spades, you'll see that's why 2 spades is more just I have 4 spades and like a decent opening bid.
Better than my minimums.
If you do have a huge hand like 16 to 18, it's just back to normal. You jump to 3 spades to show 16 to 18 exactly. So, but after it went 2 hearts, 2 spades, pass. Now East, you've already said you
blame
have
them for
cards.
bidding, but it's
I can understand it if you bid, but it's
you gave it 2 pulls and partner said no dice, right? So in this case, when you're vulnerable, white you probably would, right?
You would for sure because you don't mind going 2 down, and with such good heart interiors, it's very unlikely you're going to get doubled.
Yeah, very good, very good. All right, let's take a look at the last chance to excel in this set. Board 20. Another fine competitive auction to look at here. A diamond opening bid is perfectly automatic. The heart overcall, same. No double there. You're 5-4 in the majors. Obviously, you don't have the third suit.
There's
so
two major problems. And one is when partner bids 2 clubs, you're really unhappy. But also when you make your takeout double, you kind of lose your 5-card heart suit. You won't find a 5-3 heart fit when you make a takeout double. We really anti takeout doubles with 5-card majors.
Yes, that's big time.
That's something. Yeah.
You might see an occasion once in a blue moon that might be right, but that's usually after a preemptive bid and you don't have a lot of room left, right? The only time you're doing that. So now it goes 2 clubs, and South has a normal 2 heart raise, and West just bids 3 clubs, right? Just a normal, hey, I'm supporting your suit, and I don't certainly. I don't mean you don't want to be bidding a 2 no trump with this hand.
No, you do want to show your fit. So 2 clubs, even if you're playing 2 over 1 game forcing, once the opponent's overcall, 2 clubs just shows 10 or more plus, points and 5 or more clubs. So, but when it goes 2 hearts, it's critical that West competes when they have a fit, because if you pass 2 hearts, it might go all pass. It wouldn't have on this hand. On this hand, had West passed, East would have probably competed to 3 diamonds. But it's possible if you take one of East's diamonds and make it a spade, they're done. They're not going to compete. And we have an 8-card fit. And just again, that the law of total tricks, or
we don't want to let them play 2 hearts when they have an 8-card.
Well, and they have an 8-card fit, and we have an 8-card fit. Letting them play 2 hearts is not going to be the right approach. So.
It's not a pre-balancing thing, but it's the same idea, right? We don't want to put partner in a situation where they can't balance because they're deprived of the information of us having this club fit, right? So that's the super important part of this.
And now when we bid 3 clubs, first of all, South has no business competing. They have a balanced hand that has absolutely no interest. They've showed their 6 to 9 points. They have exactly what they said they had. So South isn't considering it. It turns out that competing to 3 hearts is actually the winner with the North-South cards, because you only are going to lose 2 diamonds, 1
spade
club.
Finesse is on.
Yeah, 1 heart. So you only have 4 losers because the spade finesse is on. So North-South is actually entitled to 140. And East-West, East-West loses 2 spades, 1 heart, and 1 club. So they were going to make 3 clubs. So it was definitely right. The only person who might have competed was North. And these are tough spots. Usually when you're competing at the 3 level, you're doing so you're doing so because you have extra distribution. That ninth trump is usually the thing you're looking for. North doesn't have that. What makes this hand make 3 is the double fit and the
Yeah, the
fact that
spades.
all of our points are in our 2 suits. Now, North does know that.
And both
right?
hands, by the way, and
Both
not just
hands,
North
all of
and
our
South.
points.
Yeah.
Right. If any of our points were in one of the any 3 more points were in diamonds or clubs, it would have been definitely
Hopeless.
correct. We wouldn't be making 3, and they wouldn't be making 3.
Good point.
So it's really important that we don't overcompete. It's just it turned out on this hand that our hands fit beautifully. North could see that. I would say that North does see that all of their they have nice points in their long suits, so that is definitely something that might make them consider. But I still think that had North bid 3 spades or 3 hearts rather, they would have been getting a little bit lucky to buy the ace of spades and the king of hearts, as opposed to like the ace of diamonds and the king of hearts, where now it's going to be so much more difficult to set up our spades if we don't have the ace of spades. So yeah, so I think it was possible if you did it. I think it was smart in some ways, but you're getting a little lucky.
But as I said, we don't play results. We play bridge, and here I just think bridge decision wise, you would bail out at this level with the north-south cards. You would think most of the time. But if you did bid, congrats, you got a really nice score if you made that. And that's it for this set, Gavin. That is 11 through 20 in the books. Hope you enjoyed this one. One set left to go, 21 to 30, and we'll tie it all off and give you guys some chances to practice these hands yourself as well. So stay tuned for that. Gavin, I'll see you in the next one, buddy.